Hi guys, Julie the Oracle here. Today we're doing what does the universe want you to know. As usual, I'm going to do my normal spiel here. Please take what resonate and leave the rest, because there's quite a few people watching at times, so some of this advice is for you and some of it is not. So if it doesn't click with you, then don't worry about it. But I believe that there's a message for everyone. So just take what resonates with you for sure. So today I'm using the Cute Ghost Tarot. I've laid out 8 cards here. So first up we have the Hanged One. This is basically the Hanged Man. And this is about, for a lot of people, it may be a feeling of being stuck or stagnant, but it can also be a feeling of trying to find a different perspective. It's like taking a moment to step back and look at the bigger picture. So some of you might be hung up on something. Maybe it's a situation or a decision you have to make, and you're hung up on what you need to do about that. Right now, it's basically the universe is saying, stop waffling and get off the fence. So, for those of you making a decision, it's time to make a decision. It's not going to go anywhere if you don't decide. I don't know what kind of decision this is, whether it's regarding career or relationship, or even if you're just trying to figure out, what plans to make for the weekend. Make a decision already. But I feel like some of you are hung up on a situation, and I feel like it may be related to friends, family, or relationships. And what I'm getting from it is that you're hung up on maybe breaching that boundary of where you go from friendship to more. A lot of people are like, no, I don't want to ruin the friendship. But at the same time, if you mutually like each other, it could end up causing problems because you don't choose to go that way. Don't fight the feeling if you don't have to. Now I'm hearing that song in my head, I can't fight this feeling anymore, I can't remember. You'll have to tell me. I can't remember who did that song. If I can find it, I'm going to post it. I've been posting a few videos, music videos, whenever I get a song in my head. This morning I woke up with Huey Lewis and the News in my head, and it was about rock and roll, so I don't know why I was hearing that, but somebody needs to hear that. I'll post that video for you later on YouTube, but for now, I just am focused on this being stuck. I don't like it. Even I'm feeling stuck just talking about it, because more than one of you, there are several of you that are stuck. You're hung up on this decision of, oh, I really like this person. Should I tell them? Should I, do we go past that line of friendship, or should we not? For some of you, though, I'm looking at the Devil card here, and this doesn't have to be bad thing, The Devil card can speak to addictions. It can speak to obsessions, or feeling trapped, or feeling like, you're tied into something you don't want to be. It doesn't have to be. It can also speak to a very strong attraction to somebody as well. You could be someone that you have a lot of desire for too. It's a really strong desire. But I'm not sure in this case if this is for everyone, but what I'm getting from it at the moment is more of a, you feel like the person that you want to get involved with, and this is only for some of you, but you're hung up because some of you are afraid that the person that you're wanting to get involved with is related to this. You think that it's more of an addiction, that person is an addiction or an obsession. And they're not an obsession. Let me say that word if I can get it out of my mouth, but I don't feel like it's like that at all. But you are worrying that it is, which is why it's hanging you up so much, because you're like, I want to break away from these addictions. I don't want to feel obsessed about this person. I want to stop thinking about them and fantasizing about them, and I don't want to have this attraction or this desire or whatever. You may have intellectual or emotional connections to them as well. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You're just really into this person. And that's because they've awakened something inside of you and it excites you. And if it does, like, shoot your shot. Like, don't hold back. That's what I'm getting just from the first two cards, is stop waffling. It's like, I don't know how many times I have to say it on these, but I keep getting like similar messages, and I don't mean to. It's just that sometimes the same themes come up, so it depends if I've got the same people watching. Maybe this is for you, because if you keep getting the same message out of a lot of these readings, then think about it. Think about it. It might be something going on in your life. It's somebody. This might be a message directly for those of you that do watch all of these. So keep that in mind. But this person is not an obsession for you. It's like, you can shoot your shot if you want. They may or may not be accepting of it. But I do feel like you're somebody here, or multiple people here, are stuck. They're stuck on this thought of like, well, will we or won't we? And it's like, well, I need to tell them how I feel, but I'm afraid that they're going to be an addiction or obsession for me. You afraid that they're going to be toxic for you because so many of your past relationships have been toxic? No. The universe is telling you it's not like this. This is, you might be obsessing a little bit, but I think it's because you like them so much, because they stimulate you intellectually and you have an emotional connection, but you also are finding that you're attracted to them too in a strong way. And you really just love spending time with this person. You enjoy texting them or calling them, talking on the phone with them, spending time in person with them. You just enjoy everything about them because they're like your person or your match. And this card is here. The universe wants you to know that they're not an obsession for you. It's not an addiction. They're not toxic. If they show any signs of toxicity, and some of you, this could be, so I don't want to say it's not that way it's not going to be like this for everybody, but for some of you, the person that you're so worried about, no. No, they're actually a great match for you, and they're going to make you happy, but you got to take that first step. But for some of you, if you are feeling like this person is showing any kind of red flags, if they are showing some type of toxicity within your relationship, whether you just met or you're friends or you're already dating, and you've noticed a few red flags here, or they don't communicate in a healthy manner, or maybe they're possessive or they're jealous, those are not good looks on people. Not at all. If they're already showing signs of that, I would say run. Run now, because it's only going to get worse. Because if someone can't handle that you have friends, whether they're, friends and family, even if they're friends of the opposite sex, no. You should be able to trust your partner in a relationship, or even if someone you're dating, you should be able to trust each other that, hey, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, go out with the girls, or go have fun with your friends, whether they're men or not. Like, people have too much jealousy on it, and there's too many people who probably have cheated, or, if you're going to do that, then no, you don't need to be in this relationship. But you also need to be able to be trusted. So if you have no plans and like you're really into this person and they're not being fair to you, then yeah, I would say they're not going to be a good match for you if they're showing signs of toxicity already. If they're already like, it's my way or the highway, and they're not willing to compromise or communicate properly with you, get out of it. Because it's not going to work out. It doesn't always have to be an addiction dealing with drugs, alcohol, gambling. It doesn't have to be like that. I mean, there is stuff like that here. And if you are dealing with someone with addiction, I would say get out of it anyways, because that addiction is priority for them. And coming from, and I'm going to tell a little anecdote here. Yeah. I mean, I had an ex that is an alcoholic. I say is because I believe they still are. I don't believe that they've straightened up or done anything. They had a very addictive personality, and they were an alcoholic, and they smoked and everything too. They just could not stop that. They relied on it. They relied on the cigarettes and the weed and all of that. And people say, no, you can't get addicted. Yeah, well, some people rely on it for the wrong reasons. So if you're for the right reasons when it comes to like, getting high and all that, hey, go have fun. Like, I know it helps a lot of people, so I'm not saying it's not good. But in this case, if you have an addictive personality, you find yourself just always relying on those things, and you're not, using the support system you have, and you're not, dealing with your problems in a proper way. You're just drinking them away, or, you have to smoke a cigarette every 5 minutes. Like, that's a pretty strong addiction. And not being able to quit is pretty big too. I put up with a lot in that relationship, but the drinking got way out of hand, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I had to be the bad guy. I didn't like being the bad guy. I didn't like being made out to be the bad person. And I know I wasn't, because I put up with it for a long time. And after 6 years, I said no. I said, okay, this isn't getting better. I've had conversations till I'm blue in the face. I asked them to go and try to get help for it, at least with moderation. And then I flat out said AA, and they did not do it. So they failed completely, and it just got worse instead. So I thought, well, this isn't getting any better. And they expected to have their cake and eat it too with me. And I'm like, no, I will not be settled for. And I'm not going to settle for someone who isn't going to be a fair and equal partner to me. So you do the same thing. Not to go on a rant there, but yes. So, I mean, I understand what some of you may be going through if there is an addiction here, and I'm just covering my bases here because I don't really feel like this is here, but I know for a select few people that are going to stumble across this video, it's going to be exactly that. So whoever that message is meant for, I hope you got it. But in the meantime, yeah, if you're hung up on somebody, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. For the majority, that person that you're so worried about, you're thinking that, no, I'm obsessively thinking about them. What if they're toxic? No, they're going to be fine. You just really like each other, and it's very, very mutual. And it's scary because when you finally do have that kind of a connection with someone, it's scary to take that first step, because your instinct is to run away and go, no, it's too good to be true, and it's not going to work out, and you're worried that it's going to end up like all the rest before all those people before you know. Those might have been toxic. Those relationships didn't work out for whatever reason, and that's okay. But this person is fine. So that being said, we go to the Page of Blades, and, you got your Page of Swords over here. I always feel like with the sword up, it's a defensive stance here. And, they're wandering around, and they look like they're worried about stuff. They're like, not trusting. So some of you are not trusting whatever is going on here. Whatever you're hung up on. And like I said, for a lot of you, I think it's relationship-wise, like, should we be more than friends kind of situation, because you get along so well. That's up to you guys. Ultimately, the best thing to do is to come clean with each other. Like, hey, I think we should try this. But if you agree that you want to stay friends, then stay friends. You can always change your mind. Because if you end up feeling called to end up dating after all, that's fine. You can set a boundary or set things in stone, but if something comes up, you can actually approach each other and go, hey, can we talk for a minute? And you can talk about it. But he's kind of defensive, and he's also, the Page of Swords has been known to be the watcher, the observer. He's looking around like waiting for, he almost seems like he's waiting for a fight, but he's also just kind of waiting because he feels like something is coming, or maybe he's just observing because he's not sure if he can trust the situation or the person involved. And so I say he, I don't know, it's a ghost. It's either he, she, they, I don't care. It's fluid, but whoever this Page of Blades is, they're, this might be some obsessive observing right here. This could be your addiction right here. It's you or them. They could be obsessively watching you too, going, I really like this person, but I'm not sure about them. I don't know if do I trust myself to reach out to them? Because, so they're kind of in this phase of like holding back and being in a defensive stance. And they're just kind of like, I don't know. And I think they want to reach out, but some people will sit there and observe and watch, but a lot of people will run away, and, especially if they have fears about, love. When it comes to love or stepping out in relationships, I mean, you could also be worried about, getting a job and that job being bad, being a toxic or hostile work environment. You don't want that. And so you're kind of like, I don't know if I should take this position or not. So, and this is a general reading. It's what the universe wants you to know, but I do feel like the universe is speaking to a relationship here. And for the majority of you, I think it is about taking that step forward, whether that person is a friend or a person you just met, and it could be a coworker too, and you're like, maybe it's not a good idea for us to date if we work together, and sometimes there are rules against that, so you have to consider all sides. But whether this person wants to reach out or not, they are considering the Eight of Sticks, which, when we call that the Eight of Wands, that's a lot of energy coming towards you, or you sending energy towards them. But that's also considered communication and movement. So they want to move towards you, they want to communicate. But they have to get past this worry. It's all hung up on this, the Hanged One. They're all hung up trying to find a different perspective. They're trying to look at things, through a different lens and try to see, what avenue can I take? Now, how should I deal with this? And some people are so bad at me right here, guilty. I'm a horrible overthinker. I'm going to tell you. I'm an overthinker. I overanalyze everything. And I know some of you watching are probably just the same. We tend to do this to ourselves all the time. We overthink, and to the point of we're not sure, and then we get all up in our head, and then the swords are all about the thoughts and communication. And here we are oh my gosh, we're thinking too much in our head, and then it makes us afraid to take that next step and to communicate with that person, or for them to communicate with us, whatever your situation is. But then we have the World card here. This can be about the endings and beginnings of a cycle. So maybe this whole cycle of being stuck is about to end. That's what I'm getting from the World cards, that you've been in this cycle and it's I need to get out of the cycle. So it's okay, I'm going to say it, shit or get off the pot. So, if you haven't heard that, yes, I don't know. I've heard that saying. I think it's funny. But also, it's make up your mind. Stop waffling, get off the fence. Because the cycle's about to change. You're sitting here worried about it, but something says that I think that your intuition and your heart, your mind are coming into alignment. The universe wants you to know, you're feeling that pull. If you feel that pull of that person or that job or whatever it may be in your situation, it's basically telling you communicate, reach out, start moving towards this person or this job, this thing that you want to go to. Whatever that it is, the world is here to tell you that's it. You're going to find a type of completion if you do. You're going to end one cycle and you're going to start this new cycle where you start making movement. You're making progress. Forward progress. That's the best thing. And here I see the Knight of Cups, and I love this because it has more than one meaning. The universe wants you to know that you need to drink from your own cup. You need to love yourself first and foremost before you come forward to make an offer. And for some of you, your person does want to communicate and they may reach out and want to talk. And when this new cycle starts, for some of you, this person is going to come forward. The Knight of Cups is a very romantic card, and it's about, he's bringing an offer of love. So some of you are going to have someone come forward and want to they're going to spill the beans about their feelings, and they're going to be I don't care if we're friends or not, I want to date you. They care, but they're going to be my feelings are stronger than that. And I feel I said this in one of the last readings too, but often the best relationships, the best relationships are often rooted in friendship. That's the quote. And I quoted that from X-Files, and I absolutely love it. And I cannot tell you how much I love that show. And some of you, I don't know if I have any of my X-Files fans out there. Yeah, I'm with you. But I think that's a good thing, especially those of you that are worried about crossing the lines of a friendship. If you really like each other a lot, then I think that you could make your relationship work. And even if it doesn't, you can agree to stay friends. And there are some friendships out there that survive anything. So it's up to the two of you and how you work it out. If you get along great as friends, you might get along great. All you can do is a trial run here. You can attempt to go out on a few dates and see what you feel. And if things kind of move forward, then they move forward. If you feel I don't think I want to do this, then you guys talk about it. But either way, there's always that risk of, there's always a risk of ruining a friendship. But I don't think it has to be ruined. You can be friends, but sometimes it can change the dynamic, and sometimes you kind of fade away from being friends and stuff like that. And, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It's either going to work out or it's not. Either way, the friendship just has the same thing. Some people can be friends for life, but if there really is a strong connection here, then, you've got I mean, you've got 4 major arcana here, so it's a pretty powerful connection to whoever this person is, especially in terms of relationship. In terms of career, if this is a career where you're about to get an offer for a job and you weren't sure if you wanted to take it, and you're like, you know what, I want that. I want to take the offer, then take the offer. But whatever the situation is for you, it's going to start making some movement forward, and hopefully it'll be forward progress, but it all depends on you and the decisions you make. And if there's someone else involved, you have to make those decisions together. Communicate that to each other. Make sure you're on the same page, for sure. But the Knight of Cups wants to move forward for this. So love yourselves first, and then you can love others. And somebody's coming for you, and hopefully they love themselves, and they already know that they're interested in you and they want to move forward in this, and they're not going to worry about you being an addictive issue for them. So, I mean, there can be good addictions, guys. Yoga's one of the best addictions I've ever seen. I've seen people get into that, get addicted to that. It helped them quit smoking, but it also was very good for their physical health. So can't complain. There are positive addictions out there. That being said, we have the Star. I love the Star. It's one of my favorites. Major Arcana, but this is about hope right here. The Star is it's about hope, and it's about wish fulfillment. It can be about healing. I've even heard it described as being related to divine timing, like the timing is opening up. So I kind of feel like in this case, the universe is telling you, now that a new cycle's beginning and you're getting an offer or you're giving an offer, whatever it is, you may be going after something you really want or vice versa. And this is, the Star here is telling you the time is now. Whatever your goals, hopes, dreams, whatever it is you want, whether it's relationship, job, etc., any specific situation that you're in, now is the time. So seize the opportunity now, because the divine timing door is opening. So this is your opportunity. So take that opportunity with the Star to take a step forward on whatever it is that you've been worried about. Now's the time to step forward. So step forward. Stop worrying about it so much. Just make sure you start moving in that direction. And see, the movement is slowly going in this direction. So that's what I love about it. Because he's turning the other way over here, worried about things. But it's like, no, it's okay. Face the future. So, and this Star, look at him. He's scooping up. He's scooping up all the water on one. It's so funny. He's pouring it out, and he looks like he's pouring it out here. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but I know with the Star, it's usually a very positive card. And I mean, that water could be the emotional state. So if you've been kind of stuck, but you know where your emotions are, follow your heart and your intuition. I can say this until I'm absolutely out of breath, but it's like your intuition is not going to lead you wrong. If you trust in yourself, it's going to guide you to better opportunities. It's a better life, more happiness, better relationships. Like, there's not anything that it would lead you to anything bad. There's always going to be lessons to learn, but everything is going to lead you to a better place. But with that said, that's the Star. And the last one we have here is the Knight of Blades. And so here's this, you're in your head. You're wanting to run away, aren't you? And now is the time. And now you're like, oh, I don't know. And take action. This is an action card for sure. The Knight of Swords is a card of action, but you're thinking of action. You're just not doing it yet. So actually do it. Like, turn into the Knight of Wands and actually make that movement. That's the one that actually comes flying in and actually takes care of business. Right now, you're just thinking about it. But this is the card that says you need to. Don't run away from whatever this situation is. It's scary to take a next step, because that next step is going to lead you to that new place, that new person, that new whatever. Go ahead and take that step. I can't guarantee you that it's going to work out. It may not, but also, this is our life. Our life is kind of, we're weaving in and out of the things we're supposed to be doing, the lessons that we have to learn. And so just because you meet a new person or you start a new relationship or start a new job, those may be temporary. But it could be a long-term temporary or short-term temporary. I can't tell you. But there's a lesson to be learned here, so you're supposed to take that step whether you want to or not. I believe that's part of fate and part of destiny, if you want to think about it that way. Sure, we have free will. I mean, you can choose not to, but that lesson's going to come back around in another way. If you don't learn the lesson the first time, I feel like it cycles back and you end up going, oh, I'm going to have a new beginning and I have a new relationship and a new job and a new whatever. And guess what? That's another lesson. And you're about to learn the hard way, but you're going to have to learn it either way. So you might as well be in the present moment. Take that step. If you're making forward progress, this means you're supposed to learn from this person, this place, this thing, whatever the situation is. You're going to be learning from it, and it's going to teach you something. And it might be a beautiful lesson. It might be a hard lesson. I can't tell you what it is, but you're meant to learn it. And once you come through it, you don't have to once you've learned that lesson, you're kind of done with it in your life. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's all about your spiritual growth. You growing as a person, growing in the way you think and the way you feel and the way you communicate and, contribute to your life. I mean, it just helps you become a stronger, more resilient person. And then you make better decisions and you end up finding, it guides you towards the ultimate goal of getting what you want. For some of you, this could be the ultimate goal. For others, this is just another stepping stone on your path to the end game, which is getting to be with your significant other or getting to be in that dream job that you always wanted, or, and it could be small goals. These don't have to be huge life things, but for some of you, these could be smaller situations that you're just dealing with. You're like, I really hope I get this. I really want this. Yeah, this is the way you get it. You just have to learn lessons along the way. I think that's what life is all about. That being said, I have your oracle cards, and I love this part. So, yeah. Here we go. First one up. This is the Ascendant Oracle, and it says transmute. This is basically making changes. This card comes out a lot. I noticed that it's come out in several of my readings about what people need to know. And so transmute is making changes to better your life. Or it's just like, it can be changing a negative into a positive, basically. I referred to it as being like alchemy. You're spinning straw into gold. So you're I like to say finding the silver lining in a bad day. Like transmuting is finding that silver lining. You've had a crappy day, but then you find one little good thing happens. Somebody says something amazing to you and it makes you feel really good, or something good happens at the end of the day and you're like, there's my silver lining. It's funny, this card almost looks silver, but it's very holographic. But yes, it's like, and it's kind of about looking at the bigger picture too. Like, you need to make changes. If you're feeling stuck, it's time to step forward. It's time to make a change. So, transmuting is all about that. And like I said, you can make the change, but making changes to your life, while you're making changes and you think it's going to go one direction, plot twist, it could go another. So that's why it's like, this could be a stepping stone. These could be lessons that you have to go through. But you know what? Just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, because like right now it looks like cycle's ending, good things are coming, and then it's either going to work out or it isn't, but it's going to help you learn and grow a lot. And this is the funny thing about this, and I've noticed kind of like a little bit of a color pattern here, but you'll notice it too. This is the Blooming Cat Oracle. It's number 10. Decide to embrace change. It's funny. I love how it works out like that. Rotation, which the 10 can be the Wheel of Fortune, and it does look like a wheel. And the Wheel of Fortune is about fate, about destiny, about luck being in your favor. The wheel is turning in your favor, so these changes coming about are going to be in your favor for now. So I see it as a very positive thing. So pay attention to that, because for some of you, when I get the Wheel of Fortune, I do think some of you are fated or destined. Once you get off the fence and make a decision, you're fated and destined to either be with this new person, new job, new whatever, or, it could be just like part of the path that you're on. It's still destiny. It's still fate. Even if it doesn't work out, you're still fated or destined to be with either someone else or another job, or the situation is going to change, or maybe you move again, or whatever you do, but it's going to happen. So keep in mind that, and just when it comes to the Wheel of Fortune, go with the flow. So go with the flow as it is now. Just make a decision. This was funny. It came out from Moonology. It's full moon in Pisces, and it says balance spirituality and practicality. You notice the color scheme? I love it. The color schemes always seem to match. You know, right now we have like blacks and purples and then we have this beautiful like teal color. It's almost turquoise. I don't know, it's hard to say. But balancing spirituality and practicality. So I think this is good. What this card is basically saying is, one, shit or get off the pot again. You know, stop being hung up on whatever this is that you're dealing with. This situation, be practical about it. Make the decision. Take the step forward. Even if it's scary, just go ahead and do it. Start making those changes, and you can be practical about it. You can be logical, rational, whatever you want to be. But it's also saying to balance that with the spirituality, which means you're spiritually, you're meant to grow. You're meant to grow and transmute, making those changes. And the spiritual part of it, I think, is related to this Wheel of Fortune. I think that you're fated and destined to move in a certain direction, and they want you to start moving because you're not going anywhere right now. It's better to be moving in a direction than just to be stopped, to be stuck in a rut, to be stagnant. Nobody wants that. Your Saints and Angels Oracle card is telling you, I don't know where to put that. It's telling you to speak your truth. Saint Bernadette. You notice there's a lot of beautiful purples coming out in this card too. I like how there tends to be a theme. But yeah, speak your truth. This is saying, like, if you need to speak up on your situation, right now you're hung up on it. But once you make that decision, step up. You know, speak your truth. Be honest. Communicate what you want, what you need. Communicate in a healthy manner. Compromise when needed. But it's time to speak up. And I can't guarantee you that it's, you know, you're going to get what you want, but you're going to feel better because you're not hiding it. You're not holding it in. You feel a lot better when you speak your truth and you get it out of your system. And it just takes a weight off. So it's going to be a relief to you, but once you've done what you've done, it's either going to go in your favor or it's not, but you're going to feel better either way. But I do feel for the majority of you, it's going to go in a good direction. If it doesn't, like, don't give up. You know, you're going to be okay. And I think that's what this last card is about, because this one flew out and it's not really, it's red. I mean, it goes with the darker colors, so we'll put it with the purples in here. But the color card, it's number 2. 2 is duality of choices. It can be, I think of the 2 of Cups, or I think of 2 being like the High Priestess. That's about, and the High Priestess can be about hiding feelings and not being honest. You know, you need to come forth and talk about it. But the High Priestess is also intuition, so it's balancing your practicality and your spirituality. So, and the color is red, so try wearing some red, or wearing red jewelry, whatever you want to do. Like, just put some red on you somewhere. But it says free yourself from pain. And I think being stuck and stagnant can put you in a numb place, but it can also bring a lot of pain because you're like, oh, you know, you're stressing out about, I don't know what to do. So, and you don't want all that stress, and you're worried about, you know, it's going to cause you pain if you make the wrong decision. If you do, you know what? Nothing is written in stone. Keep that in mind. Nothing is written in stone. Just because you took a job or you got into a new relationship or whatever, it doesn't mean it's going to last. It doesn't mean that you're stuck in things forever. You know, it's up to you. You have the free will to make these little decisions in your life. Despite that, you know, fate, destiny, and all that are down the road, these little decisions that you're making, it's up to you. Free yourself. Free yourself from pain. So it's like, make a decision, speak your truth. You know, if it doesn't work out, you know, yeah, it might hurt, but you're going to be a lot more relaxed because you don't have it weighing on you anymore. You made your decision. If you make a decision and it's good, you're freeing yourself from all that pain of, like, the worry of for nothing. Stop worrying. Stop the anxiety. Easier said than done. I know, since I have, like, anxiety and all of that, ADHD, I get it. But you don't have to worry about it. You know, definitely something, there's a lot of good here. A lot of good. So, if you make the right decision, but you feel like it wasn't the right decision, no, it was the right, whatever decision you make is going to be the right decision at that time. If things change and you end up changing minds and you end up going into, decide to date that person that's your friend, or you decide to take that job, or whatever the situation is, things change. There's always changes happening. So it's going to be the right decision if you change your mind too. And if it doesn't work out down the road, that's meant to be. That's part of the fate. That's part of destiny. If it's not meant to be, it's just meant to be a lesson. So when it doesn't work out, treat it as a lesson and free yourself from the pain. Don't be like, oh, it didn't work out, it's never going to work out. No. That person, that place, that thing, it's only meant to be temporary. Then it was just a lesson. It was part of the path you're on to your true destiny. So don't worry about it too much. Try to take it as a lesson and go, okay, that was a lesson for me. That means something better is coming. That's the best thing that I can tell you, and how to treat it, how to look at it. I think that's a positive way to look at it, and that's transmuting it. That's making a positive out of a negative. So keep it up, whoever situation this is. I hope it works out for you. Until next time, guys.